Okay. Can you recall the last few situations when your manager announced some decision? Just think about it for a while. How you felt? Please raise your hand if you have ever been dissatisfied from your manager's decision. And keep your hands up if you were so angry and disappointed that you started looking for a new job. Thank you. You can lower your hands. My name is Mariola Szot, and I am Scrum Master and People Manager working for Motorola Solution for over 6 years. And this is Splitting the Team presentation. And today, you will hear about my experience with different approach in splitting the Scrum teams, so that facing similar situations, you will be able to make more aware decisions and avoid harming people you manage. I believe people we work with are our greatest value. So we'd like to avoid situations that they left the company because of bad decision making. Why should we even consider splitting the team? When it's too big, of course. What a stupid questions. Even Scrum Guide tells us about the most optimal Scrum team size. Just kidding. Having too many people in a team can cause communication overhead, lack of free flow of information, and as a result, people stop working as a team, start working more like a group of individuals. Also, when we have prioritization problems, especially while working on a lot of equally important products or components, or even features in parallel, and it's impossible to focus on one thing at a time, and team is splitting somehow in a natural way. Also, when numbers of variables paralyzing the decision making to reduce complexity. Also, having diverging goals inside the existing structure, um, or to simplify, always when your team isn't able to work effectively because of its size. I'd like to introduce you to a team I used to work as a Scrum Master, the A team. There are 7 developers and product owner, Scrum Master, and also development team manager. It's a good team of a great specialists. They're working on 4 different components, which are part of the same system. There are maintenance activities and providing continuity of supply mainly, almost no new feature to implement. And because it's a good team, not a perfect one, it has some issues. We have here competence silos. Not everyone is able to work on each component. And there is also a prioritization issue. Every component is equally important from the system perspective, and product owner isn't able to decide what is crucial, so the team can't focus on one topic at a time. And because of that, people don't feel like a team very much, more like a group of individuals. As a Scrum Master, responsible for team effectiveness, I shared my observation with the team manager and asked him to consider splitting the team. And he did. About 3 months after my request, he invited me to a meeting and announced that he had decided to split the team, if, of course, I still think it could help in improving team effectiveness. I offered help, but I was only asked not to tell anyone yet. 2 weeks later, on Friday, during the whole team meeting, manager announced his decision to the team and presented the new team structures, the responsibilities, and said that everything going live on Monday. People tried to discuss, but they heard that the decision was final. How would you feel in that situation? How do you think the A team reacted? After first shock, people were angry, disappointed, and demotivated. It took over 2 months to make their work predictable again, and building them as a new teams again was exhausting. It required titanic work. Fortunately, nobody left the company, but I was overwhelmed by addressing frustrations and fears. And the manager has never regained new team's trust. Now, I'd like to introduce you to another team I used to work with as a Scrum Master, the B team. There are 11 developers and still hiring, product owner, Scrum Master, and a development team manager. They're working on a strongly related components being crucial part of the bigger system. It's a good team of a great specialist. They have many maintenance activities, providing continuity of supply, and some new features to implement from time to time. And because it's a good team, not a perfect one, it also has some issues. We have here competence silos. Few experts are highly specialized. Some people are totally new to the project. And also, we have a prioritization issue. Um, Everything team works on is urgent and equally important to the product owner. So the team can't work together focusing on one topic at a time. And because of this, team has gigantic amount of started work, uh, a lot of dependencies, and they're not able to finish anything quickly. As a Scrum Master, I shared my observation with a team manager and requested her to consider the team splitting. And she did. About a month after my request, she invited me and product owner to a meeting and announced that she is ready to split the team if we think that could resolve some issues and improve the team's effectiveness. We started from a problem statement discussion and identifying the problems we'd like to resolve. We set the goal of the whole operation and decide about criteria allowing us to say if the operation succeeded or failed. A bit later, it was announced to the team that we had identified some issues we'd like to resolve by the splitting the team, and manager presented the goal, explained why splitting the team is considered as a solution, and assured that everybody would participate in discussion about the future. The manager worked with product owner and Scrum Master to provide boundaries to allow the team to self-organize around them. There were only 4 rules related to the new team's size and expertise. The rest was decided by the team. Meanwhile, the manager worked with individuals to prepare them for the change. And me as a Scrum Master gathered doubts, fears, and opinions from people. And we together worked on addressing the risks and proposition of the new process of work after the splitting. But the final decision belonged to the team. It took almost 3 months from the decision to go live new teams. And there was also the whole spectrum of reactions since the announcement to start working in a new way in new teams. Firstly, some fear, uncertainty, maybe even frustration, then hope, and finally, happiness. We felt well prepared and we knew what to do and how to work in the first weeks. Management expected lower efficiency and some fluctuations in teams' productivity, but since the very beginning, new teams have worked even more effectively than before the split. Finally, we had two highly motivated, efficient, and predictable teams having fewer topics in progress each. For both teams, decisions about splitting were good. Finally, in both situations, the effectiveness improved and some issues were resolved. However, the way teams achieved it was different and much more difficult to people working in the team A. So I'd like to encourage you to use ask the team approach. Even if we think we know what is best for us and our team, we usually don't have the whole picture. Asking the teams gives us valuable perspective on solutions, risks, potential opportunities we could not even think about. It's because the team knows their environment best and they know how to do their job. Also, people attach and identify themselves more to their own ideas, finding them as a best possible solution. So you can redirect your team energy to find the most optimal, the most creative solution. And fewer complaints would be a bonus. If you show that you trust your people, you allow them to make some decision and you're open to their opinion, they will notice that you care for them and they will trust your decision. Also, asking people to work on their own ideas instead of giving the final solutions make them more engaged, more emotionally attached, so that if not everything goes well, um, they focus more on making things working again instead of giving up and abandoning change in the middle of a process. Also, making tough decisions bring the teams together and can be also a great first team building activity. So ask the team to reduce guesswork in your decision making process. And if you would like to avoid the A team situation, do not underestimate power of preparation. Just a few steps can save a lot of negative emotions. First of all, decide what problem you'd like to resolve by splitting the team, and if it's even possible to resolve in that way. Set the goals and ask yourself what the worst could happen if um, if you split the team or if you continue working in a current way. Think about success and failure factors. Be ready to answer when and how you evaluate your changes. Communicate the idea uh, and its purpose as early as it's possible, even as a vision. Just give people time to get used to the idea. Ask about doubts, hopes, fears, questions, and try to address them publicly if it's possible. And allow to allow the team to self-organize by providing boundaries only. Think about your vision about teams after splitting and be ready to talk about it, but only if you are asked for it. And also leave the people some place for negotiations. Also, be prepared to check if everything is going well regularly. Set some checkpoints and discuss with the team, ask for feedback, and ask about their opinion about the change. And finally, you don't have to do everything alone. Find the leaders, formal or informal, you can work with, and use their skills to make the change smoother for everybody. And this is everything I have for you today. If you have any questions, you can find me after the presentation. Thank you.